Right, let's get into what's happening in the papers. ChannelOneNews.com. WAEC to release 2024 WASI results by end of December. Other stories you'll find: Supreme Court sets aside Okaikwe Central Ablekuma North. Two others recollated results. Other stories you'll find: Supreme Court upholds recollated results for Nsawama Dwadri and Ahafo Ano North. NPP suspends 184 members in Yendi for breaching party constitution. Other stories you'll find: experienced leadership key for 9th Parliament. Majority MPs are saying that. EC gazettes 274 parliamentary election results, 2 constituencies outstanding. Supreme Court to rule on NDC's opposition to EC recollation order. Other stories you'll find on ChannelOneNews.com. Appoint persons with integrity and commitment to Ghana, Yagbonra to Mahama. Other stories you'll find: election 2024, posterity has vindicated your efforts, Yagbonra tells Mahama. GPRTU advises festive travelers to prioritize safety with registered vehicles. We've disbursed over 167.9 million Ghana cedis to WAEC since July 2024. That's according to the Education Ministry. Appreciate journalists for aiding governance. Speaker Bagbin says so. Let's go to citynewsroom.com as I open that portal. And some of the stories you'll find on citynewsroom.com. Cape Coast, 3 killed in bus accident near Agri Memorial School. Other stories you'll find: Nigeria denies colluding with France to destabilize Niger. Transition team receives subcommittee reports ahead of Power Handover. WAEC acknowledges receipt of additional 35 million from Education Ministry. Application for mandamus must be heard by a different high court. That's according to a Supreme Court judge. That's according to the Supreme Court. We're satisfied with Supreme Court's ruling on recollated results. That's according to the NDC. Other stories you'll find on citynewsroom.com. Professor John Mauto inducted into office as new Vice Chancellor of UPSA. And WAEC urges Ministry of Education to release funds for post-WASI activities. Let's go to graphiconline.com. Give me a minute. graphic.com.gh. Some of the stories you'll find over there is 3 killed in bus accident near Agri Memorial School in Cape Coast. Other stories you'll find: NDC will reclaim all contested constituency parliamentary seats. And in Azerbaijan, they say a plane has hit by external interference over Russia. And Squid Game reviews Season 2 sensational or a letdown. And Nigeria denies colluding with France to destabilize Niger. Still on graphic.com, you'll find WAEC receives 35 million Ghana cedis to process 2024 WASI results for school candidates. Other stories you'll find: President-elect Mahama calls on Yagbonra. EC gazettes 274 parliamentary election results, 2 constituencies still outstanding. Right, let's read some of the stories. Hold on. All right, let's go to ChannelOneNews.com. WAEC to release 2024 WASI results by end of December. A bit of that story reads: the West African Examinations Council has announced that it is working tirelessly to ensure the release of the 2024 West African Senior School Certificate examination results by the end of December. In a press statement dated December 27, 2024, WAEC acknowledged receipt of an additional 35 million Ghana cedis from the Ministry of Education on December 25, 2024. This funding will enable the council to complete the scanning of objective answer cards and conclude the processing of the 2024 WASI results for school candidates. Consequently, the council is working round the clock to ensure the results are released by the end of the month, stated John K. Kapi, head of public affairs at WAEC. However, WAEC has also appealed to the Ministry of Education to release the outstanding balance to facilitate the payment of supervisors, invigilators, script checkers, suppliers of examination materials, and other financial obligations. The council wishes all its stakeholders the best of the season and assures them of its commitment to the execution of its mandate despite the challenges, Kapi added. And I remember the story started like 2 weeks ago when WAEC had not released results or not even marked some of the WASI results, and they're saying that the results will be released by the end of December 2024 so that, you know, students can know their stance as to whether they are going to university or not. And so that John Kapi Wabre Dizimbe Pao, since I think 2 weeks ago, he's been on radio, on TV, explaining that they have still not released the funds. But finally, WAEC has received the funds, and they said they'll release the results by the end of December. Today is what, 28th? So end of December, what, Monday? Basically, we should receive some WASI results. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I do not do this show alone. I do it with my able co-host, Jude Mensa Duncan. How are you doing?
I'm well.
That's a brilliant one to swear in Dion.
Actually,
I saw you driving in a convoy.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
but how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm thriving.
Yeah, thriving.
I'm sure viewers may be wondering what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, during the Christmas break, I got a lot of people who were really appreciative of the stuff we do on TV, you know.
Oh, I think.
Yeah. And a sizable number of them kept telling me, you know, when I see it on the TV, I just can't take my eyes off it.
Oh, we're grateful.
Yeah, so I decided to stay back a little today and just see for myself. Yeah.
So that they can see me clearly.
Yeah. I don't want to be any distraction.
I see.
Interesting.
I see. It's great to have you. It's great to have you.
Same here, Eno.
I thought you were abandoning me today.
No, I can't do that.
All right.
I just can't do that.
All right.
Wow.
All right, I'm reviewing some of the stories on ChannelOneNews.com. I just finished reading the WAEC WASI results debacle, where WAEC says they're going to release the 2024 WASI results by the end of December. Right. So other stories.
You know, still on the WAEC and Ministry of
comments.
Yeah, so the Ministry of Education in this story on the citynewsroom.com online portal has asked WAEC PR to verify facts before making misleading statements. So you could clearly tell that there's a turf war between the Ministry of Education on one hand and the West African Education Examination Council on the other hand. And, you know, just very briefly on that story, because it's one of the big stories right now with all that's happening. The Ministry of Education has asked the Public Relations Officer of the West African Examinations Council to verify facts internally before making pronouncements that may inadvertently mislead the public or cast aspersions on the ministry's efforts. Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, told journalists after a brief visit to the WAEC office on Tuesday that the results of the 2024 WASI would be released by December 29, which is tomorrow or today. Tomorrow.
Today's 28th.
Yeah,
tomorrow's 28th. So on Sunday?
On Sunday, yeah. According to him, WAEC was finalizing the marking process and working to ensure the results were published on time. However, WAEC dismissed the claim, indicating that the assurance by the minister that there had been an additional 25 million released to the council for its operational activities had been would be released before December 29 was not accurate. And the head of public relations for WAEC, John Kapi, has been speaking a lot on this matter. So clearly, there's that kind of turf war. But I know the point is that the students just want to go to school, right? So, you know, whatever means.
Your stance. Did I get 7 A's? They
just want their results so they can go back to school. it brings to the fore again conversations around free SHS. With this new government coming on board, the likes of Seth Tekpe, who has been former finance minister, made certain interesting pronouncements about financing for free SHS. Of course, there was some pushback from some party folks, but the point is that we need, a proper, nationwide consensus on the way forward. Of course, this government coming on board campaigned on the promise that they were not going to put it aside, but they were going to improve free SHS. So, a lot of people are wondering what this kind of improvement. Would mean and would entail. But the point is that it can't be business as usual. We need certain reforms, right? And some people have opined that, maybe a means testing is the way to go. But we'll see how we navigate this interesting area in the coming days and even in months as we transition into a new government. It will be interesting to know what their priorities are in terms of education, and the like. So interesting days ahead. But I must also say, we saw the magnificent launch of the Accra STEM School by the Education Minister, Yawase Eluchu. So it's been kind of a torrid week for him, but there was also some glimpse of of hope and brightness, right? So I saw pictures and videos of the Accra STEM School, and I must say it was it was good to see. It was inaugurated by the president, I think, on yesterday, and the pictures, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I've been to one of these STEM schools, which is still under construction somewhere in the eastern region, and walking around the laboratories and everything, in my mind I'm like, wow, science students are going to have a field day. What about arts as the arts? Because I see in one state they try to add an A somewhere in the STEM so that we don't feel left out. Because it's science, technology, so STEM education as well. And that's the future actually, because in the advanced worlds, people into technology, IT, they're the ones who are dropping big money.
Because
so
why wait up until SSS or SHS before a student's first exposure to coding? Look at some syllabuses, you have to wait up until upper primary class 6 before
you
they are
even
taught
get a glimpse
how a basic computer functions and all of that. So it's important that we start right from early all the way up. And I'm very excited really about the future of this, because I think it holds enormous potential for us as a people. And for me, it's a great initiative. So whilst we are bashing the ministry and the minister for their shortcomings, really, with this whole WAEC payment debacle, it's also important we look at the brighter side. And in saying that, it's also important that we admonish them to, do all there is to do so we can also close this chapter on the WAEC issues and get students to be able to receive their results, which will then send them onward into tertiary institutions.
And another says that posterity will judge him as one of the presidents who invested massively into education in Ghana. So, is there something you want to say?
I think he's done his bit. You can't take it away from him. He promised free SHS, he's delivered it.
Delivered.
What people are not too sure about is the issues around. So of course on this show we talk about the Africa Education Watch report, for example. If you look at the likes of the attrition rate, right, there's no doubt about how free SHS has, for instance, increased the enrollments in schools, right? 5.7 million beneficiaries. That's enormous. There are so many people who, but for free SHS, wouldn't have gotten into schools. You can't take that away from it. But the point also is that if you look at the likes of Africa Education Watch, they look at further than just enrollments, right? So how many people are able to go through the process, right, and complete, right? So the argument,
foundation, like you always say.
Exactly. So their argument is that a lot of the effort has been concentrated on free SHS, whilst the basic, and primary, hasn't been really taken care of.
Right.
Right. But that's an opinion too. So like the president says, maybe yes, posterity will be the best judge. But you can't take away the fact that he's shown commitment, right?
Yeah.
But it's politics, so you get people also try to downplay, some of the achievements within the space.
So I don't know if you're the one who went to I think it was Charles who went to the recollation, and it was declared for some NPP Yes. Okaikwe Central, Ablekuma North, and two other.
Some law gymnastics.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court has set aside that one. A bit of that story on ChannelOneNews.com reads, the Supreme Court has set aside the recollated results for the Okaikwe Central, Ablekuma North, Tema Central, and Techiman South constituencies. This ruling comes after the NDC challenged a controversial High Court ruling from December 20 that directed the Electoral Commission to recollate parliamentary election results in 9 disputed constituencies. The EC has so far complied with the directive in 7 of the 9 constituencies, which were all won by the NPP. However, the results for Domkwabenya and Ablekuma North remain pending. The NDC has strongly opposed the recollation process, describing it as illegal and lacking merit. The party contends that the High Court overstepped its jurisdiction and that its directive undermines the transparency and integrity of the electoral process. Delivering the ruling in Accra on Friday, Justice Gabriel Pwaman, presiding judge, noted that since the orders which have been brought to be quashed are separate and distinct, we have decided to exercise our discretionary power to quash by certiorari, having required to the peculiar circumstances of each ruling. Consequently, we hereby quash the orders of mandamus made for collation of results by the EC in the following constituencies: Okaikwe Central, Ablekuma North, Tema Central, and Techiman South. And so I think last week we mentioned a list of constituencies that had been recollated and the winners were declared for the MPP. That whole debacle has been reversed.
But for Ahafano West and in Sawamadweji.
Yes, and then there are still 2 pending, which is Domkwabenya and Ablekuma North.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the point, if you listen to the lawyers speak, it's essentially that it's going back to the High Court. So you get a sense that this case is still very far from over. It could still go either way, right? And for me and a lot of Ghanaians out there, they just want the will of the people to prevail, right? You know, in the past, we've heard of instances like, and people make pronouncements like elections are won at the polling station, right? And not at collation centers and all of that. But it's important that when we are going through the process, we go through the process as speculated by the laws governing our election bodies. Me, I've said on this platform that, see, if you look at how some of these results were announced, right, you know, the duress, the pressure. I don't know, if it were me or you or any other people, a lot of people will give in into that kind of pressure and do what people are. See, there were videos of people shouting at electoral officials, telling them that they will kill them, that they will harm them and all of that. So, you know, even if it's the result, it's not proper, right? That is not democracy for me. So I hope that once we brought in the legal aspects of all of this, we are able to go through the process. So rightfully elected leaders, you know, will get a chance to lead their people. Other than that, then it doesn't augur well for our democracy at all. At all.
Do you have any stories, or should I continue? Cape Coast, 3 killed in bus accident.
Yeah, I saw that story. And, you know, I was thinking we were going to have a really accident-free December.
Yeah, because you haven't heard of
any of them. Only just wake up this morning.
Yeah, 3 people died on Friday.
How many people dead?
3 died on Friday when a bus on which they were traveling from Takoradi to Accra fell on its side at the intersection close to the Agri Memorial School in Cape Coast. And this is on citynewsroom.com. A bit of the story continues that the bus with registration number GW62312-21, carrying about 53 passengers, fell on its side, trapping some of the passengers. 23 others who sustained various injuries are receiving medical care at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, while 9 others were treated and discharged. The Central Regional Public Relations Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Abdul Wasiu Hudu, explained that the accident happened at about 6:48 a.m. on Friday, December 27, 2024. He said with the collaborative efforts of officers from the GNFS, the police personnel, and personnel from the ambulance services, most of the passengers were rescued and taken to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital and the University of Cape Coast Hospital for medical care. He said 3 of the passengers were unfortunately confirmed dead at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. And I think that's the picture of the bus. with the National Fire Service people saving the people that could be saved. I wonder how fast he was going, that he, meandering the intersection, that it was able to fall on its side or hit a pothole. I wish the driver would come and speak and tell us what exactly happened, or passers-by will tell us what exactly happened, because at an intersection, I'm assuming you'll stop, look left, look right.
You need to really go back to the basics, right? No, it's true, because like you see some people
morning
driving
on
on
the
the road.
To work,
Oh yeah, I can
when
imagine.
someone cut in front of me, I was wondering, no, all quiet, because we're all going in one direction. Take your time. And then there are some cars that don't even have their indicators working. These, these big cars that sometimes they have, they take sand. Yeah. Most of them don't have their indicators working. I was following one, and he just stopped in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
And you know me, I like speed. So,
so you don't have to like the speed.
I know. I have quit.
Yeah, it was very important.
I have quit.
It's very important.
Because so I always say that you should drive defensively and disregard every other road user on the road and concentrate on how you are driving, because you are your number one.
My driving instructor will tell you that assume everyone else is daft.
Yeah.
And you're the only
sensible person.
But
on
even
the
with
road.
that one, somebody can, and that's the point, because you can do everything right, and someone's foolishness will just end it for you. So, it's important to just retrace the point that we all need to be responsible on the road, right?
I say, or the next time I'll be saying,
okay. Yeah. You have to be just responsible on the road. And more often than not, those who are careless get away with it, right? And maybe 6 months.
Too often.
Six
Too
months.
often they get away with it.
So it's important that, we are all responsible. And, you leave the rest to God and we'll be fine. But, condolences to the family who've lost their loved ones. I'm sure breadwinners, I'm sure fathers, I'm sure friends, siblings.
So sad.
I know.
Yeah.
The transition team released a statement last night, and I think for the first time, it's the first time we've seen a joint statement signed by spokespersons for both sides. That's the outgoing government and the president-elect's team. So I'm giving the impression that they both agree on issues raised at that particular meeting. So the story is by Kaba Atawoge, who's with CTFM ChannelOne TV online team. So the transition team tasked with overseeing the handover of government operations received reports from its various subcommittees at the meeting on Friday, December 27, 2024. The meeting, which took place at the Accra International Conference Center, is part of measures to ensure a smooth and efficient transfer of power and responsibilities across different governance sectors. In a statement issued by the team's spokespersons, Fatimatu Abubakar and Felix Ofosu Kwache, it was disclosed that all the subcommittees successfully presented their reports with the exception of the social subcommittee. No reason was given for the failure of the social subcommittee to present its report. And the story goes on and on and on. So we are clearly inching towards December or January 7th when officially the new government takes over. It will be interesting to see the people they are appointing to positions, already I understand
people
that
are
the
already making predictions,
last-minute lobby,
lobbying, left, right, center.
You have to see the Odogu and, get the Odogu's blessings. People are looking at their political fathers. Hey, Charlie,
it's very necessary.
It's
very
and
justified.
The political sons too are doing the groundwork. Because system ministers, I don't know, and it's only 4 years.
I do reshuffle them.
Why reshuffle no crown? That was the guarantee, said baby. So you have to do everything.
And the Kufaro, we saw no reshuffle, so yeah.
So and it's only 4 years.
Well.
And the system ministers, no 120, whatever. So Charlie, the team makes some way. Members are busy.
Yes, you need to. Go and lobby for your position. Make sure that
everything is on point.
But the more make sure that you do the job properly.
They say sometimes your name can be on the list too.
That's the final list.
You've seen your name on the list. You've seen your designation. Everything's set. Then the moment they're announcing the thing, then a different name is mentioned. Politics is deadly. You have to play. Like House of Cards.
Yeah.
Is the word scheme, not scheme, but you have to plot. Yeah, you have to maneuver. And you have to outwit, or you be outwitted. Yeah. So that's it. Will be interesting. Like I'm saying, some of the names Mama will be appointing into his inner circles or his cabinet already. You have an idea after he announced his transition team. If you look at some of the subcommittees and the people chairing it, you just get a sense that they'll be heading into. And probably if you put me on the spot, I could probably make some guesses, but there's not a show for it. There's not a show for it.
I'm giving you the mic.
There's not a show for it. No, because see, if you go through the transitions team, the subcommittees, you look at some of the people on it, and the roles they play in Parliament as ranking members. Right. Some of them out of, you could just tell that the chips are falling in place.
Give us one.
I don't know. I'm not a forecaster. And I'm not a soothsayer. So, even fast or if I say, hey, you this boy, you still talk TV, say, I beg you, let this cap pass over me. All right. So that's with the transition team. They issued a joint statement ahead of the handover or the January 7th inauguration of the president-elect. So, yeah, I know pretty much some of the big news stories. I probably just want to give a shout out to, Dutch Ghanaian footballer. Jeremy Frimpong.
Okay. What's going on that side?
Oh, no. So he spent his Christmas in Ghana, for the first time. Both parents are Ghanaians, right?
But he's never been in Ghana.
He's never been here. He plays for the Dutch national team. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen. They went the whole season unbeaten last year and was very instrumental in that really impressive campaign. So he came to Ghana to spend time with family, and of course he took time off to go see the children at also children's home, as part of his efforts to give back to society. Right, so he did that, and it was really amazing. You see the smiles on the faces of the children.
That's nice.
Some of the elderly boys in the home, they watch football a lot, so seeing him up close like that.
I can imagine the excitement.
It was amazing. So shout outs to the team: Cedric, Jeffrey, Cyril.
If you forget someone's name, you're in trouble.
Oh, these are the guys that really called the show. Right, Cyril was like handling photography. Cedric manages the team. Jeffrey's his agent, and all the other guys, amazing guys.
Right, amazing guys. I have a birthday message here before we go. Wishing you the happiest of birthdays, dearest Ramatu Guma. Today is all about celebrating you and the beautiful person you are. May your life be filled with endless laughter, boundless happiness, and blessings beyond measure. May your wealth never waver, your beauty continue to shine brighter each day, and your successes soar above all expectations. Here's to more joy, love, and good fortune coming your way. Have an extraordinary day, Queen. Happy birthday, Ramatu Guma. And that's a birthday message coming out there. If you have more messages, do send them. The number 0204 447 033. We'll be right back with What's Happening.